I remember whenever I started getting into photography, I was looking online for a camera obviously, and I was looking especially at new cameras. Like I got into photography last year and I looked for like the Canon R50, the Sony A6700, or even like a Fujifilm X-T5, which is like really expensive and overkill for a beginner. So I made a mistake there, and I want to talk in this video about why you should not buy a brand new camera if you're a beginner photographer or videographer, or even if you're somebody that makes money with photography, or you are someone that does it like every day. You don't need a brand new camera, and in this video I'm going to explain to you why. And I'm gonna also give a few reasons why you should buy used cameras or used camera gear in general, like lenses. So as an example, I started photography last year and I looked at newer cameras like the Canon R50, as I said, and I noticed that they were like really expensive, so that was a no for me. So I started looking at used cameras, especially DSLRs, which are going out of fashion nowadays, but they're great for beginners. And I talked with a friend who is a professional photographer, and they like advised me to get a DSLR to start off, and I got a Canon 60D with like the beginner kit lens. And this is how I started my photography journey. I bought that camera like only for photography, and I started to do video with it as well, and that's when I noticed that it was just pretty crap in my opinion for 2023 standards. You know, it was pretty crap. The camera was like from 2010, so it was pretty old, and I wanted to upgrade. So that's when I jumped to Fujifilm. But then I already knew in my mind that I didn't need a brand new camera because it was really expensive and I didn't make any money with photography or videography. So why would I spend so much on gear if I can just start off cheap and maybe like build like some client base, and then build that up, and then maybe start making money. In my opinion, it's so weird to look at brand new cameras whenever you're starting out. Even if you're like a millionaire, you don't have to spend that much money on new stuff if you don't even know what the exposure triangle is. I got my Canon 60D and I did so much research. I learned the whole exposure triangle. I learned like every video settings. And then I started to buy into Fujifilm because I like the colors and the cameras in general, like the aesthetic. And so I started getting into Fuji. I got a Fujifilm X-T1 as my first camera and I absolutely loved it and I really miss it. But the Fujifilm X-T1 has all the dials on the actual body, so it was so easy to just use that camera and learn the exposure triangle as much as I could. So it was also pretty fun to shoot with it because it looked so great. And I know that might sound stupid, but it is the reality. So, but at that point I didn't make any money with like my camera or my gear, so I didn't see like the point of getting the brand new X-T5 or the XH2, or I don't know, the newest Fujifilm camera in general, or even Sony or Canon or another brand. I didn't see the point in that because I didn't make money with it. So I got like all these second-hand cameras. Like I got a Fujifilm X-E2, I then got a X100T, and just so on. And right now I have a X-E4 and I have a X-T3 right here. And I got this X-T3 used for 500 euros, like on some second-hand website on the internet. And on it I have the 16-1.4, which is like Fujifilm's best lens, and I got that for 350 euros. And I mean, that's just so much worth it if you compare it to like an X-T5 with the 18-1.4, because this can do everything that the X-T5 can do, but just a little bit worse. But for like, I would say like 1500 euros less, or 1000, or maybe even 2000. I don't know the actual like prices, but it's just so much worth it to invest in second-hand camera gear. Like I bought all these like second-hand cameras and lenses, and I actually also sold off a lot of cameras and lenses. So I was also making money with like selling and buying cameras, which is pretty fun. And I really like recommend that if you are looking for like a side hustle or side job, you can start doing stuff like that. But whenever I got like my X-T3, I got a few paid gigs as well with some businesses, and that was really awesome. And I'm also making YouTube videos where I make a little bit of money, because I also have another channel which has the requirements to like actually make money. So that's pretty cool. So that's why I also use my cameras. But I don't need an X-T5 or an X-H2S or a Sony a7 IV to do that, because this is just as good, but just a little bit older and not as good, but it's good enough in my opinion. So I don't need like a brand new camera, and a lot of beginners slash people who don't make money don't need brand new cameras themselves as well. But if you're like a professional who shoots like really like professional serious shoots in a studio or sports, okay, then you might need a Sony a7 IV or Canon R1 or whatever. But in my case, and in a lot of people's cases who are starting out and like are getting into a system like the Fujifilm system, you don't need to get the newest camera, okay? Just look at these older cameras. You can find them on sites like MPB for pretty cheap. Not the cheapest, because Fujifilm is really hyped up right now, but you can get them for like under 300 euros or 400 euros. And then you can get a lens for 200 and 300 euros, or maybe a third-party lens for really cheap. And then you're already in a system. So you should not really spend all your money on the newest gear, because you don't need it unless you're a professional shooter, but then you know what you're doing. So if you're starting out, I recommend getting cheap secondhand gear. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure to leave a like and comment down below and subscribe to my channel for more content. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.